Hey guys, Prules here, and today we're taking a look at the SG553 carbine. It is unlocked via co-op, and it is the 6th of 7 unlocks, and thanks to one of the updates, this thing went from a ridiculous 378,000 point requirement down to 120,000, which is really great, especially if you're jumping into this game a little later. Now, I've got some mixed feelings about the gun, and I think DICE is really close to achieving a well-balanced gun here, but it does have some of its strengths. I generally break down weapons into two roles, and that is aggressive and defensive. The SG is definitely a defensive weapon in my opinion, as it fires at a rather low 700 rounds per minute, and in most cases I like my carbines to be quick and painful, much like the M4, A1, and the TAR. However, I was actually enjoying using the SG quite a bit, as it functions really great at distances, and it's not awfully hard to handle. So where I think this gun shines is definitely those larger rush maps, as well as the Conquest Small, because these map layouts tend to be pretty optimal for this gun. The iron sight, in my opinion, is pretty tolerable, but the red dot is the first attachment, with the hollow coming in a little later, and I think both are pretty viable sights. However, I do feel the most comfortable with the Cobra, which unfortunately comes in pretty late at about 200 kills, I think. So something to keep in mind is that the 1.5 time sights are actually pretty appropriate for this gun due to the slower rate of fire, and it promotes the idea of staying a little further back from combat, which is never bad if you're trying to get teammates back into a fight with spawns. In my opinion, the heavy barrel is a must, as I would probably say with most carbines, but especially the SG553, as the reduced damage loss over distance helps it significantly in those ideal medium long range encounters, and a laser for close quarters isn't totally out of the question for that slot. I actually found myself getting comfortable with the hip fire at times, but if you're really serious about those close quarters maps, I would probably stay away from this gun, as the low rate of fire will lose you a lot of fights. One of my gripes with this gun is how inconsistent the results seem to be for me when trying it out with and without the foregrip. And without the grip, the gun has a 0.3 left pull and 0.5 right. With the grip, you drop it down to 0.2 left and 0.335 right. And I think DICE very much intends on us using the grip, as the patch notes from early June mention that the SG553 foregrip recoil reduction bonus increased. So although I use the gun with longer ranges in mind, I understand that the foregrip is supposed to reduce range accuracy, but after a lot of playing around with it, I decided that I prefer to keep it on. If you ask me, I think this gun is very close to being well balanced, enough to keep up with something like the more popular M4A1. I get the feeling the SG was supposed to perform very similarly to the AKS-74U. However, I think DICE didn't want the guns to be too similar, and it seems like they made the SG a little more well-rounded, which isn't really good enough. What I hope DICE does is give it at least one outstanding feature, as it seems to get bested by a few other carbines in terms of reload speed and damage output. My suggestion would be to make it a slightly more stable platform in terms of accuracy, as well as increasing the bullet velocity while letting the AKS be the slower of the two, with a bonus of more stable recoil and a faster reload, which would give us two interesting weapons that don't have one simple trade-off. I think that just about does it for my review and thoughts on the current state of the SG553. I think it's definitely worth unlocking if you have yet to check it out, and I'll see you guys next time.